Oh goodness.
Goodness.
We are live.
We are not live.
We're not?
No.
Says we are.
Give me a sec. Okay. I had to reload and now we're live.
See. All right, should I play the music?
Play
No.
the music, Mark.
Yes. Play it.
No, it's not. Don't do that. No, that is not your safe space. You need to know. Both of you need to stop. Wesley is offended. Both of you need to immediately stop.
Well, Baphomet likes it, so we're gonna keep doing it.
Well, Destiny posted a very cute video today about the eclipse. So
Yes, Destiny's amazing and has some really exciting news. We're going to see Destiny at the Tennessee Ren Fair here shortly.
yes, that'll be exciting. It's May, right? It's gonna be May.
I wish you would never do that again.
You gotta do that. You
No.
gotta do that. So.
It's the law.
Okay, you know what I don't like? That nobody's ever on Team Erica. Like nobody is ever on Team Erica. Everybody's on Team everyone else but Erica.
Well, so it all goes back to the Twilight thing. That's just all it is.
Listen, I am super excited when we go to the Tennessee Terror.
Oh yeah.
Meet the entire cast. To which, travelers, I'm going to get a brilliant picture that will live down in infamy with this cast. You're welcome. You're welcome. So
Makes me want to come to that just so I can see you meet them.
you can come meet them with me if you'd like, Beau.
It's true.
I'll include you in this picture that will forever be immortalized as the best picture ever taken in the world.
I just saw a hashtag justice for Erika.
Thank you. Let's get it going. I like it. Love you guys. Okay.
Oh my gosh. So this is our listener questions for
Our
April.
Patreon live listener questions.
Yes. Yes. Our wonderful patrons can chime in on the Discord, and the rest of you all will be listening to this as it broadcasts, and then we'll eventually air this on regular YouTube at some point.
Well, this episode will also air, believe it or not, the day of the Flora Lee Spring Festival.
Oh my gosh, that's right.
Doing a little dance there in Alien April here with that.
Yeah. Alien April still chugging along. We are having way too much fun with this. We've already recorded them, but they'll be behind us if you listen to this. It's weird. The Wayback Machine is working overtime right now.
Oh
but,
my gosh.
Some of the stuff that we've recorded has been amazing. So I am super excited. And some of the stuff we've got scheduled rest of this week recording is going to be crazy. So
super exciting.
Did you do anything fun for the eclipse?
I did not get my eyeballs burned out.
Oh, good.
Actually, Jonathan watched the eclipse because he asked me if I had gotten glasses, to which I replied, no. And like that, no. But my neighbor came over and is like, I thought you might not have gotten yourself glasses, so I brought you some. So Jonathan went out and saw the eclipse, which was really fun for him, and he enjoyed it. For that small little bit of time that we were able to see it, I think it was like 4 minutes or something.
Yeah,
so.
it was pretty cloudy. We went up to Waya Bald, which is a huge mountain just a few miles from our house, but it takes 30 minutes to drive up because it's a little winding mountain road, and it's elevation 5,000 feet. And we thought, oh, this will be a fun place. And there was a good, couple dozen people there for it, including our amazing cleaning company that cleans our house. They're an adorable couple. So they're great. And we all were up on top of this mountain watching, but of course it was cloudy as heck. So we didn't get to see as much of it as we would have liked. But right when totality hit, it was clear. So it was great.
Halloween Eve just brought up a good point, and I just want to point out that no, Mark never cleans the Wayback Machine. It desperately needs to be cleaned. It stinks in there, and we keep traveling for many, many, many years backwards.
Millennia.
Like
if you take that into a car wash, though, it gets ruined. They tried to do that undercarriage thing. They always overcharge for that. It's no good. It's no good.
It's no good, but luckily for us, Mark and Carrie have a ton of possums and skunks that come clean out the leftover snacks in the way back machine.
Yep.
So at least we have the food problem mostly resolved.
And then Carrie's made a whole ecosystem there. We've got the spiders take care of the bugs that spawn. It's worked out pretty well so far, I think. So
yeah. Oh, I gotta do this little fun thing. So Carrie and Mark got me this lovely cup that glows in the dark, by the way, which I adore, from Buc-ee's, which we all know Mark and Carrie are addicted to Buc-ee's.
Yes, we are.
Every holiday since this, I've gone into Buc-ee's looking for yet another cup that matches this prominence that this cup has.
No, they don't.
And they haven't done that. So Buc-ee's, I just want to do a shout out. Get your shit together, because this cup is amazing. This glows in the dark. So at night, I can find my drink glass. Don't ask me why I need to drink in the middle of the night. It's important.
That's where I put my Halloween Buc-ee's cup, next to my bed, so I can find it and it glows. It's perfect.
Yeah. No, I've got my glow in the dark Flatwoods Monster shirt on because I was kind of hoping that it would get charged in the sun and then glow when the darkness came, but we were only 80%, so it wasn't as dark as I'd like. So
I'm wearing my Mothman Festival shirt.
That's Carrie wore her Mothman shirt. We were representing all the monsters today. So
okay, but this is listener questions. So
yes.
Instead of continuing on about us, Mark, I'm quite sure you've already staged this to end badly, but who's starting today?
It doesn't matter. You pick. That way I can't be held accountable.
I'm going to let you start.
Okay. Sounds good. All right.
I feel like I just got set up somehow. Not sure how, but continue on.
I think there's a fun one either way it went, so that's why I was okay with it. Greetings, travelers. Greetings. I have been hearing creatures on our property for a few months now. Last night, outside our bedroom window at about 4:30 a.m., I heard what sounded like a lion roar. Sounded like its roar was vocalized through a voice changer thingy like we had as kids growing up. Sounded like each vocal cord echoed or was going through a metal hollow tube, almost robotic sounding. It was so loud, I felt it vibrate through my bed pillow I was laying my head on. My pillow resonated in several places! Exclamation point.
Yeah, I'm not on board with what's happening here.
Yeah, I was going to say, Erika, you would have noped out of this one
burn
already.
Burn the house down and leave. Go.
Yeah, yes. I was not dreaming. I had just been up to use the bathroom and had just laid back down. My cat was laying on she popped her head up and looked around like, what the heck was that? One of my dogs sleeping in the room jumped up as was standing still with all his fur standing up, and he was looking around like, what was that? It was an actual roar, all caps, just like a lion, but resonating through hollow aluminum tube, possibly because of their vocal cords. That's why it sounded like that. However, we did finally get them to stop running across our metal roof of our garage barn building. Has anyone else ever heard a roar like that I'm describing? Please let me know. Andy. Wow, Andy.
Does anyone see the movie Pitch Black? Because I'm getting Pitch Black vibes from this.
I've heard that, Bigfoot, Sasquatch can have these deep guttural yowls, right?
Aluminum pipe roars. That's deep guttural yowls.
They already talked about a metal roof on a garage building nearby. So maybe it was up on that when it yelled, or echoing off of that. Because if we've got an infrasound type roar, it could do anything like that.
The other thing that makes me think of this is, and I'm trying to think of what movie it was in, and I'll think of it after we're done with the show, but there was an alien that made like a sound like that, like a metallic, almost sounded like a roar in an alien movie. Do you know what I'm talking about? I'm trying to remember. We just talked about, but you know what I'm talking about, right? Like there was, I can't remember what movie it was now.
I can't remember either, but I remember the noise of it.
Yeah.
It's like a screeching metallic, like.
Yeah. I don't know what this is.
Andy, if you could let us know where you are, because then I'd like to see if there's any reports of anything nearby that might also fit in with this.
Yeah.
So, and 4:30 a.m. is definitely a time when animals make all kinds of noises. And out in the woods, again, we hear all kinds of sounds when you're out there, and some of these things don't make sense, and that's what this is all about. We'd like to know. And I'm
The
not
vibrating is what's got me. And I will think of this. Andy, I'll think of what movie I'm talking about, but who knows? But also, listeners, if you've heard of these noises, reach out to us and let us know. And let us know where you are. We don't have to necessarily share that part, but if you let us know where you've heard these noises, I think it will help Mark with narrowing down what it may or may not be.
exactly.
Okay.
All right. Well, goodness. Oh, yeah, that might be it, Beau. You're right. It might have been Annihilation that had that kind of weird.
Yes, that's it. Thank you. Whew. Okay. I had
Beau on the clackety clack. There we go.
Yeah.
All right. So, Erika, thank you, Andy, so much for that. That's amazing. And I'd love, maybe get a recorder and keep it around. If you can catch that on tape, that I'm sure that would be amazing. And somebody can study it and figure out what it is.
I like it. Okay. Someone's been putting fruits and veggies and other odd things in my private driveway for 2 years, and you're still living there. Okay. So for the last 2 years, someone's been putting fruit, vegetables, and other odd things in my private driveway. I've had weird produce like potatoes, full heads of cauliflower, squash, and whatnot placed in the middle of my driveway and didn't put much mind into. But the more frequent it became, the more I started noticing it. Now, whoever it is perching full bagels and now pomegranate and orange against my garage door. I ended up getting a trail cam to try to see whoever it was doing it, and it gets more mysterious because the stuff continues to show up and no footage of who's placing it there. The last 3 items I received was a full loaf of bread, a donut, and a single sock. I don't know what I'm trying to achieve here. I just thought I'd share the Asheville weirdness. Tony, oh, you're close. I already have a thought, but Mark, I want you to go first because I have a couple thoughts here that are.
Well, my first thought at first was crows. Crows tend to bring stuff to places where they've been fed, and they bring things that they don't necessarily like, but are willing to trade for food. So that would be my initial thought, but then it's moving on to other things. Again, we go into Fae territory, I think, with this, where it could be something like that. I would say check with your neighbors too to make sure they're not putting something out, feeding something, and it's bringing other things back. But it sounds like you're kind of in an area where there aren't a lot of neighbors nearby. Like you said, it's a private driveway. So
if the trail cam is not catching this thing, here's my only little warning though, my friend. It's getting awfully close to your house. So I would suggest that a lot of times, if it is Fae or things like that, they believe they're trading you for something. Yeah. So
just like the crows.
Yeah. They think they're trading you and they're getting awfully close to your house. So you probably want to lay down some ground rules. And if you want, you can trade them back if you choose to. Mm-hmm. But you need to lay down the rule that it is outside, that they're not allowed to come in the house, and what they can expect from you is just whatever you're giving them and nothing else. Anyway, that is my present day thoughts on that, Tony. And if you want to send us some pictures, I'd love to see it. And as you know, we are relatively close to that side of North Carolina. So, we could always just do a drive-by, your private drive, and take a look. Little Eerie travels. Me and Mark scoping
That's
out.
Not too far from us. Asheville's awfully close. So
yeah, let us know. We're willing to creep you out and come stalk your yard.
Yeah, that's definitely odd thing. Oh my goodness. Okay, well, thanks, Tony. Though, yeah, please, keep us posted on that. See if that trail cam picks up anything else. But the reason I think crow is that they fly in, they drop things as big as they are. I mean, that's
a 3-ounce bird could not carry a 1-pound coconut.
Yeah, exactly. Let's say an unladen swallow, but an unladen crow, they can carry some big stuff. All right. So next question. I have a question about not deer.
Oop, glad I didn't get this one.
Yep. Do they do anything besides look creepy? I can't seem to
Oh.
find any stories besides I saw one and it freaked me out. Linda. Well, Linda, the not deer, we're still not certain what they are. They didn't exist until the 2000s, technically, when the creepypasta started posting about it, and then people started seeing it. We talked to Dr. Stamey about tulpas, and we think this may be a perfect example of that, where people have imagined them so much that they've actually started manifesting.
Well, and I think with the degenerative disease that deer get, the wasting disease,
Yeah, the wasting
I
disease.
think people can get a not deer confused with a deer that has the wasting disease, because the deer that has the wasting disease literally kind of looks like a zombie deer.
Yeah.
And a not deer is supposed to have a human face, right?
Or human. Well, they tend to walk on two legs and be human-ish. Yeah.
Yes. And so I think there's a difference, but
not to be confused with the deer woman, which is a completely different thing. The Cherokee and the Navajo and a bunch of other tribes. So we don't mess with the deer woman. That's all we.
Yes.
So,
but the not deer is a sign of bad luck, and people apparently, supposedly, do not survive encounters with true not deer, really.
right. I don't think we've had any serious stories other than the stuff from the creepypastas. Yeah. So I have not heard of an actual anything bad happening from them, just other than they creep people out. You're right. That's pretty much all they do is look creepy and creep people out. But that would be something manifesting, like our fearmonger would manifest something that they knew would creep something. If anybody's going to see a not deer and it's going to be something like that, it's going to be Erika. So,
but Linda, I think there's supposed to be a bad omen. And we had one listener who had an experience with them where they were having nightmares. Do you remember that? And it
That's
came
right.
out
That was
of their house in New York.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So I think that is, they're just not, they're bad news. Whatever they are, whatever representation, Topol, whatever, they're just not a very good omen and tend to bring yuck with it.
All right.
I guess.
Back to you, Erika.
It's over
Thank
to
you, Linda.
Thank you,
that was
Linda.
a fun question.
Okay, here we go. I do not enjoy the not deer, Linda. So if we don't discuss them again, it's okay with me. That's fine. Okay. I've lived in Appalachia all my life and have always heard the expression things that go bump in the night, but never experienced such a thing until now. Nope. Okay. So what in particular causes actual bumps and thumps? I recently moved to the most remote on a ridge far from the nearest neighbor, and I've had thumps against the walls, even the roof a couple times. No animal noises like I expected a skitter across the metal roof. One big thump above my bed as I was trying to fall asleep, effectively preventing sleep, laugh out loud, and then silence. That would prevent me from sleeping as well.
Yes.
There was a knocking the other night, which really had me feeling uneasy. I only have a glass storm door for a door, only 2 regular windows and 1 tiny window near the ceiling. The thinking is happening right now, and to be honest, I feel queasy even typing this. I always listen to you in the daylight. Tell me I'm not crazy, Jean. Jean, you are not crazy.
No.
And all of the stuff you've described, to my understanding, then I'm going to let Mark jump in because he knows more than me in this topic. Yes, you have that on recorded. This sounds like a Sasquatch. That's what it sounds like to me. It sounds like a Bigfoot knocking, and
the knocking sounds and stuff.
The knocking.
Well, this is thumps against walls, roofs, stuff like that. Sometimes can be simple as an acorn falling off of a tree. And sometimes, again, we're talking about crows, we're talking about squirrels, we're talking about other animals. They will land and hit hard. A lot of times, especially if you have like storm windows and stuff, some of these carpenter bees and other things like that, they don't recognize what windows are and will fly into them and hit hard. And it sounds like a knock. It sounds like a thud. I've heard them in our house here. I had to remind myself, oh yeah, that happens up here. So not to dismiss it, but I'm also saying it could be something as simple as that. But if the noises are making you feel uneasy and giving you that, yeah, there's there's some odd stuff. Oh, and our good friend Jake has a comment about our wonderful deer woman there. Give me laughing about Wendigo / not deer hybrid. Haven't finished it out yet. Seen some of the Halloween Eve. Seen some of the prototypes. That's on our Discord chat. So
Well,
the chat, we're working on YouTube. Yay!
Is this? Get a jar of peanut butter. Open the lid slightly. Loosen the lid. Take the little paper thing off. Loosen the lid, but it needs to be on there. Put it out on the porch, or put it out right outside, close to your yard, like on a rock or something. Try that. See what happens. Because if that is opened and eaten from or moved and stuff, see if that does it peace. And I would just go out, and not in a scared way, but I would just say, listen, you're here. You're safe. You don't want to interrupt anything that they're doing, but you're not going to create any problems. And that might just solve the problem completely, believe it or not. And the other thing you can always do, and you can always reach out to us because we can get them, put railroad spikes at the corners of your property.
Yeah. That's always a good thing. Anything you can to make yourself feel a little more comfortable. Intention is everything.
Yep. And you are not crazy, Gene. So.
And then Rick on the Discord just pointed out birds will fly into windows and patio doors too. Yes. Oh, and Jake just commented again, put peanut butter out and it might attract him. True. The big question I have, creamy or crunchy? So I'm an extra crunchy guy. So
crunchy.
Yeah. All right.
Although I do like peanut butter and cheese, which is going to gross out a lot of people, but I enjoy peanut butter and cheese and I like it creamy. Then move on to the next question. Beau's grossed out.
All right. Greetings, Mark and Erika. Hey. Greetings. Reaching out once again for thoughts. We were woken up at 3:23 a.m. by a loud crash. What is you guys getting all woken up in the mornings? Very quick. We jumped out of bed and ran into the kitchen where we heard the crash. We looked for 30 minutes before we found the source of the crash. This is where the story gets interesting. I thought it was pretty interesting right off the bat. Yep. My very thick glass cutting board I've had for years just literally exploded all over the kitchen and pieces flew all the way into our living room. This board had been in the same spot for the last year. We were sound asleep when this happened. No unusual movements or vibrations in the house. We are at a loss to why this happened. We can't find a source for this at all. Officially stumped at this point. What are your thoughts? No, I can't move, Erika.
Well, my thought number one is out the window. This is from Haley. Hi, Haley.
From Haley, yes. Thank you, Haley, for that email. That was really cool.
I'm going to go the science route this time. Here is the thing that we don't realize is that things degrade. We don't always see the degradation of the things, but they can degrade. So I'm going to go with the science thing. And then since you can't move, let's stick with the science thing. I think that what can happen is without realizing it, tiny little microscopic fissures, I'm going to use these words, can occur, especially depending on how the glass was made. And a lot of times those glass cutting boards we can't even see the tiny micro fissures that can happen. And it could have just jostled slightly. You don't know what can cause it. It could be anything. Air conditioning changes.
Temperature changes. That's exactly where I was going to go with. Temperature changes. How cold was it at 3:23 a.m.? Had you had wintry weather and suddenly it got hot or suddenly it got cold? That can cause any glass to shatter. Your car windows can have that happen if you're in too hot or too cold of a temperature, and that's safety glass. And a cutting board glass. Now, I have heard of poltergeist-like activity where that can happen, but man, that's So
with that said, I would go in your house and put some intentions out there and just go, whatever that was, it's fine, it's done. Do not do it again in our house. And just lay out your safety bubble I've kind of talked about before. Just push out your safety zone into your house. It is your house. Intention. I want to hope that it's science, but we are working on a realtor if you want to move. So those are your options.
Yep.
Okay. Thank you, Haley.
Thank you, Haley, for that.
Mother of Okay.
It was about time. Been a bit. It's been a hot minute.
Of
Are you
course.
re-
We're going to do this one and then we're going to take a break.
I think that's a good idea. So
Okay. I fear for your safety. I'm sorry you've not paid heed to my warnings. I have tried to steer you all away from danger. If you would only have listened, I can say no more. Your mocking was amusing. My brothers told me not to interfere. I wash my hands of what is to come. I hope to contact you again, but I'm certain if you'll still be able to receive any more direction. Good luck, X. That is ominous as fuck.
yeah.
I don't understand what warnings we did not heed. I mean, I know that there has been some jest made, but in general, X, I have taken what you've said very seriously. What I've asked for is some clarification about what it is that we're doing specifically that is not great, because yes, we're having Alien April, but it appears that we got this email several days ago before we even started our Alien April.
Yep.
You know,
And then,
so
my brothers told me not to interfere.
what does that mean?
That's what is that?
Sure sounds Men in Blacky to me.
He already said he's not Men in Black.
Who's
Protesting too much.
Yeah. Ooh.
well, X, I'm going to be sad if you don't contact us again in the future. And I'm sorry you feel that way, because we have heeded your warning rather auspiciously. But yeah, well, with that, I think we should do we take a quick break on these?
Yeah. I think we just say we're taking a break so that we can go to our sponsors on the audio version. But we don't have them on this yet. But it is something that we can do in the future. So we will look into that. Maybe we can actually do those live here in the future. So we're still learning the machines. I got to get Beau access to the special controls, because I have too much control, because I can still do this and I can do this and I can do this. This is just crazy. So yeah.
That's chaos. But I will say this, listeners and travelers, if you have not checked out Destiny Beard's song Angel of Death, I think is the name of it. It is a song written specifically for Eerie Travels about Mothman, and definitely check it out. It is wonderful and amazing, and you can get it on Bandcamp. It's like 99 cents. And with that, we're going to pause for 1 second to take our official break.
Greetings, travelers. Now available on Audible and other audiobook platforms, Eerie Appalachia. Join us, won't you, as we discuss creatures like the Popelick Monster, the White Fangs, the Snallygaster, the Wampus Cat, the Lizard Man of Skateboard Swamp, Bunny Man Bridge, and the Ohio Grassman. All these creatures and more await you if you dare listen to Eerie Appalachia, presented by Mark Muncy, History Press, and Four Horsemen Publishing.
Prepare to be devoured. The Wolves of Wharton is a 6-part complete book series by Eerie Travels producer Beau Lake. It has been called dark and visceral, steamy, dramatic, and a fresh take on the werewolf mythos. If you like action, adventure, a large serving of body horror, and some steamy relations, the Wolves of Wharton series is for you. Pick it up wherever books are sold, or at linktree.com/Beau__Lake.
I don't know how I ended up with that one. But yeah.
We ended, we broke on an X. So holy cow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. All right. Thanks, X, for sending us off on that.
Yeah.
Let's get back to some more questions from our listeners. Yay. So my turn. So I remember back in the 80s and 90s, they told us that the drains all flush clockwise in the northern hemisphere and counterclockwise in the southern. Does anyone else remember this? We live in central Nebraska, and all my drains go counterclockwise. And now I'm perplexed about WTF I have been taught. Dan.
Dan, greetings. Yeah, I think there's a lot of shit we were lied to about in the 80s. I'm just going to say it. I call bullshit on many, many things in the 80s.
Yes, I have heard that too. And I have been places where the water flushes different directions. It just happens. It's I don't think it's anything with the way things are wired. I don't think anything. I think that's just so somebody on the South continent, just tell us which way your toilets flow. Southern hemisphere, please let us know.
Agreed.
Well, I had also heard like there was only one river that flowed north, and that was the Nile. But now we know the Kanawha River flows north, and a few other rivers flow north. So they all flow downhill. It's kind of
yeah. Beau just said that was also in a Simpsons episode, so maybe it's accurate because the Simpsons have turned out to be way more accurate.
They've been accurate.
Yeah,
So-
Bart calls Australia as a collect call to ask them about their toilets, and it
Oh my
becomes like a
gosh.
whole thing.
Thanks, Dan.
Thanks, Dan. We'll let you know if we hear otherwise.
Have y'all heard about the 2 matches in a bowl of water to see if you're hexed? Ginny.
I love Jenny with the upside down question marks in that.
Yeah,
was-
yeah.
It was very pretty
It's
when we
very
got that
pretty.
email. So.
What? Have you heard of this, Beau? You used to do some witchcraft too.
No, this was the thing I've heard. You light 2 matches, put them in the bowl of water. It tells you if you're hexed. If they keep burning when they hit the water, it means you've got bad energy attached to you. But of course, if anything burns once it hits the water, unless you're in Cleveland and the river catches on fire, then
Oh, apparently, if it's putting 2 matchsticks in the water,
Mhm.
and if they float together,
Oh, yeah. Okay. I've
you've
heard
been
that too.
hexed, and if they float apart,
Or- Yeah.
we're gonna try this, Beau. We're gonna do it. We're gonna see if we've been hexed. Ginny, we're gonna try it. We will videotape it. We will let you know.
I mean, honestly, we probably have been, so we probably should check.
Robert, what do you think? No? Okay. Robert says no.
Well, he's
I
a good,
do
great
not
boy.
trust that at all. So
Don't say
Right.
that, Erica. We trust Robert
no, I
with his
trust
love.
Robert is a beautiful, wonderful human being. I don't trust Mark's assessment of that situation.
All right.
But
All right.
We will
Well,
try this and let you know, Ginny, if any of us are hexed.
that's pretty epic.
Yeah.
I had forgotten all about that one. I just remembered if it still lights on fire, that it was a thing. So, but all right. Okay. So I'm really curious if you all or any traveler has had this happen or knows, quote, the meaning behind it. About the last week, I have had change fall from literally nowhere around me. I don't understand where it comes from. If I don't hear it fall around me, I see it on the floor or in a random place. Even when I'm driving, I will hear a coin fall. Like WTF. It's to
Why
the
can't
point
you
I'm
say what the fuck? Because even though
Well-
they said that, that's what it means.
Oh, okay. Well, I just see the WTF. So it's to the point I'm freaked TF out LMAO. So that's I'm freaked the fuck out, laugh my ass off. Is that what that is? Okay.
That is, and it's painful for me listening to you read it. Continue.
So I will say it my way. All right. I got in the shower the other day, fully unclothed, to hop in, and a penny falls on the floor. Where was it? I'm so serious, though. I ignored it for a little, but now I'm like, okay, you have my attention. What do you want from me? I'll be in the store and change falls next to me. I check my purse for any holes. I don't put anything in my pockets, nothing. It's strange to say the least. And it wasn't just once or twice, it's every day for about the last week. Thoughts, Laura?
Well, Laura, I would like to know what intention you put out there before this started happening, because I feel like you probably wanted some increase of wealth or something like that, or had attention on it, and something was listening.
Oh, yeah, that's a good thought. I used to fall asleep sometimes with money in my pockets, and then I would wake up in the morning and not realize that it had fallen out of my pockets. And then I'd go back to bed later in the evening and then get up, and then change would have been embedded into me as that I'd slept on. And then as I get up, it would fall. So sometimes that happens.
I don't think this is the same thing, Mark.
No, sounds completely different, but I'm just saying that has happened. And at one point, a friend of mine said, "Oh my God, it looked like you just made yourself 25 cents."
I would actually just be appreciative of it. And if you feel uncomfortable with it, I would gather it and gift it to somebody, whether it's in a donation box or something like that, if you want to, because I would say again, unless you're losing money somewhere else, I would think that this is a little bit of a gift. And it's just, you got to be careful what you wish for. Not because it's bad to wish, but if you don't word things correctly, sometimes they come in whatever form, whatever perceives it to be.
That was the guy. It was a Piers Anthony, Incarnations of Immortality, where magic is real in the world, and the guy buys a crystal ball that will drive him to money, and he has to sell the ball that gives him true love to do this, and the money ball is just finding loose change all over the place is the best he can get out of it. So yeah, Eve had that comment. If I had a nickel for every time I was confused, I would die from the weight of all the nickels. So
yeah, Laura, I would count this as a good thing and stop reacting negatively to it unless any sort of harm comes from you. That's what my thought is.
I'd be collecting all those. I know we have a couple friends who literally go walking and then they record every time they find a penny or a nickel or something, and then at the end of the year they use that to buy themselves something nice. So this just sounds like you could get yourself something really nice by the end.
Yeah, I wouldn't be freaked out about it. It doesn't sound like it's a negative thing. I mean, if they start pelting you, then maybe have a different conversation and undo whatever you did to start it to begin with. Like I said, if you don't feel it's very Fae-like, I agree with Beau. She mentioned that, but I would just donate it or save it for something nice, because that might be what it's leading towards. So maybe gather it in one location and just build it up.
Yeah,
I like that. Okay,
I like that too. So, all right, let's see. So thank you, Laura, for that. Got a question for you guys. Last night, I was talking to my boyfriend about the upcoming cicada/locusts. And I mentioned my granny had always said their wings predict war or peace. If you look at the pattern of their wings, there will either be a W or a P. He had never heard of this particular old wives' tale, so that got me wondering, did anyone else learn of this from your Appalachian granny? Tanya.
Well, hello, Tanya.
Well, hello, Tanya. Thank you for sharing that. That is a fun legend. I have heard similar to that, not that specifically, not the W or the P, but they do tend to look like that. And we do have a crazy cicada boom coming later this year.
I also want to point out that people think that cicadas coming is one of the signs of the apocalypse. So since it happens regularly, that must be very confusing from everybody predicting the signs of the apocalypse.
Yeah, there's quite a few. Yeah, because we've got the X cicada generation, which was from around the 80s coming back. But then we have one that's been out for 200 years that is due this year. And that was like supposedly one of the biggest ones of all time that we've ever recorded. And it's coming back. So, and they're both coming back this year. So we may have triple, quadruple, who knows? We won't know till they're here. But even then, I just remember one point driving with the windows up and you could still hear them because there were so many. And that was back when I was a kid in Ohio when the last boom came. So
yeah. Okay.
All right. But yeah, thanks, Tanya. That's a good one. We'll keep an eye out for it. Hopefully we get a lot of peas.
I hope for a lot of peas. I hope there's a lot of peeing. Okay. Here's a question. You're armed in the woods and have a clear sight on a Sasquatch. Do you shoot? Why or why not, Jim? No, I don't.
No.
I am not a believer in quote unquote hunting them using armaments. I think that if we're interested in studying them, there are ways to do it. But at the same time, I'm also firmly convinced catching one of these things is not a great idea because of what we do when we catch these things. If we happen to find a deceased one that we could do some studying on, great. But I do not believe in doing that at all. I believe if you're going to go out hunting, it needs to be for protecting your family. And what I mean by that is if like you lived on a thing and there's a bunch of bears, or you're in Florida, a bunch of alligators that need to be taken out or something that are endangering you, not because they're there, but because they keep endangering your family, or for food. Those are the two options to me for hunting. I also know that some hunting is done to take down the population of creatures that overbreed and stuff.
Yeah, like to stop
Totally
the wasting disease of deer and stuff like that. So
yeah, and snakes. There are people that are literally paid to hunt snakes in the Everglades, and there are those little kind of gopher creatures in Louisiana they let loose that are eating all the wetlands. I forget what they're called, but
again, we tend to be our own problems with this stuff. Everybody's like, with the wetlands and the snakes, that's a whole. The things that kill the environment more than the snakes, even with these invasive snakes, is freaking dogs and cats. Feral dogs and cats out there, and that's 1,000 times worse. But you don't see us hunting them, so that's. I can get into that, but no, Sasquatch. No, I wouldn't shoot. I'd shoot with my camera or shoot with my phone. Try to get some video. Try to get some evidence. That's what it's all about. Like we had RPG on the other day talking about that was just one of those. If you could get the shot. That's 1,000 times more useful than a body would ever be. And
agreed.
We'd rather have that. So, and do you want to be the one that puts an animal extinct? Do you want to be the one that killed the last dodo?
Well, and dodos aren't harmful, so I think it's silly. Although apparently they tasted good. Tastes like chicken.
Apparently,
okay. Next one.
But we did have. I did like Eve's comment about that was Erika wouldn't be out in the woods in the first place, and she'd be more surprised that Erika would be in the woods than the Sasquatch.
Yeah. Hashtag the Sasquatch would be like, "What are you doing here?" Yeah. And if I was Eve, you are correct. I would be armed, but with what if I always said foghorn? Why? Because that'll scare the crap out of anything.
Yeah.
Okay. Mark, over to you.
All right. Greetings, travelers. Hey, greetings. We're closing this week on our own little piece of Appalachia. Well, good for you. Welcome. Oh, complete with massive boulders, caves, and the cutest little fixer-upper cabin. Oh, yeah. Good luck with that.
Hey.
Cute cabins are good. That is true.
Yes.
Looking for any and all suggestions for setting up wards, protections, and connecting with the land. What are your must-dos when settling on a new homestead? Gina.
Well, hello, Gina. I heavily recommend those railroad spikes.
Yeah, railroad spikes on the corner.
I would just do the cleansing of your house, like sweetgrass is a good way to do it. There's different crystals that are a good way to do it. Whatever makes you feel comfortable, I would just clean it out and just even with intention, go in and go, this is your house now. You're going to do that. And I would be aware of the surroundings. Just go out there and see. And even if you vocalize to nobody or anything in particular, hi, you're new here, what your intention is being there. And what you would like to see and what is okay with you and not okay with you.
There are always rituals for this stuff. Like we do at the first of the month, every month is, you blow that cinnamon into your door and it's to bring in prosperity, out your door, to bring in prosperity and stuff. That's what you do, is do some things like that. And then also introduce yourself to the house spirits. Make sure they are comfortable with you and you comfortable with them. Don't go, especially if you're doing some remodeling and some fixing upping, make sure that you're not provoking anything. That's the key. We all got to live in peace, right?
Letting them know why you're there and that's what you're doing. Because a lot of, there's history, but there's going to probably be some wildlife out there. And it's always nice. You could always provide some seeds and berries and fruit and things like that for all the wildlife a little bit away from your house so that you have a protection of possums. I like to call it the possum patrol. Because them and the raccoons and the skunks, they will back your ass up no matter what is happening. And something that is very good in use, believe it or not, is marigolds. If they will grow where you're at. Marigolds are a great protection type thing outside. Yep.
Jake, 100%. Get the cinnamon thing and iron spikes.
I put a calendar reminder, honestly, Jake, that goes off every first month at 8 a.m. to do the cinnamon. Me and Beau talk about it all the time.
I mean, one day we were about to go somewhere and your little chime went off and you're like, we can't leave yet. I got to go do the cinnamon. I'll be right back.
That's good. That's good. But Gina, good luck on your house and keep us posted. We'd love to see what happens with it and hope all is well. We love to see fun homesteads. So keep them in the chat. So Erika.
Yes. Hi, Eerie travelers.
Hi.
Hello. I'm fascinated by the Mandela effect now. Me too.
Aren't we all?
Yeah. I've been waiting for y'all to do a follow-up with some newer ones popping up. Have you updated your theories? The fruit of the loom has me in a tizzy, Karen. Well, hello, Karen. And we are overdue for that, Mark. I'm going to make a note. Beau, can you do a little clackety clack in there so that we can get a note to actually do that? We'll do that in May. How does that sound? We'll do
May or June. We'll definitely get it.
May or June. We will do our follow-up episode for.
We got a pretty good theme for May, and it's going to be fun. So
we were talking about one the other day, Mark. Do you remember what that was? A Mandela effect. Me and you were talking about what was it?
It was a movie line.
We'll think about that in a minute, Karen. But there was a movie line that we both were like, no, it was this, and it absolutely was not that.
I like Eve's comment was the fruit of the loom is not a Mandela effect. It was just gaslighting by the company. So I don't know, but I think it was a Ghostbusters thing. I don't remember.
Yeah, it was something like that. And then, it's Mandela effect. Absolutely weird.
There's definitely some odd stuff. And they started the CERN collider again today of all things. So we may get a whole bunch of new ones very soon. So that's still my theory, is that things shifted and that's how they changed it. So, yeah.
We'll get it done for you though, Karen.
We will definitely do another episode on that. So, okay. Hi, Mark and Erika.
Hello.
Hi. If you could set the Wayback Machine to go anywhere, where would you go? Can it go into the future? Would you want to? George.
Ooh.
I think I know who this George is. I think he listens to the Doctor Who show I'm on occasionally. So,
hello, George. It's nice to meet you. My answer to that question is, I don't know if I'd want it to go in the future. The reason is I'm firmly convinced that little things can change the future, little actions you take. So I could go into the future, but it would only be the future of that moment and not the future even 20 seconds from then. Does that kind of make sense? Like, that's my theory. If I could go anywhere in the Wayback Machine, though, I would want to see something really, really cool.
I'd have to solve some historical mysteries. That'd be my job.
You know where I'd like to go, which would be fun? I don't know. This is my final answer. I would love to go back to when that saint supposedly had the conversation with Loch Ness.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, with the Loch Ness Monster and said, don't come back.
Yeah, that's where I want to go. I want to go see if there really was a Loch Ness Monster that saint had a conversation with. That's what I want to know.
I'd want to find out what happened to King Richard's kids. You know, were they locked in the tower? Was all that? That would be my thing.
Why did you go gruesome? Why didn't you go something fun? I just said let's.
Well, I don't think they actually were locked up. I don't think Richard III really was this evil guy. I think it was all propaganda. I want to set things right. So.
Okay, fine.
Anyway, also, all right, I'll go have drinks with Teddy Roosevelt and see if he actually did see the Bigfoot.
We don't get to go interact with the people. We get to go look. We can't interact. We'll change the future.
Oh,
this is how things go bad.
Then the next thing you know, we're remembering a cornucopia on the Fruit of the Looms thing that wasn't there, but apparently it was.
Okay, don't go down that path. Mark, you're next.
All right.
Oh, was that me or was that you? That was me.
That was me. It's your turn now.
Oh, it's my turn. Okay. Greetings, travelers.
Greetings.
I'm a longtime listener, now first-time questioner. Well, welcome.
Hey. I like that.
I watched Mark. Oh my God, we're gonna have egos. Here we go. I watched Mark on a documentary about UFOs in West Virginia. I fell out of my chair when I heard your name brought up. You've mentioned being on other shows. Has Erika done any? Can you add links to the shows on your site? I can listen to all of you for hours and frequently do so. See you on the other side, Gwen. Oh, Gwen, you just gave me warm and fuzzies.
Yes.
I have not been on any documentaries, although me and Mark are supposed to do a documentary later this year. We're waiting to hear.
With Small Town Monsters, hopefully. So
hopefully, knock on wood.
More Small Town Monster Festival, which we're going to be at. So
yes,
up in Canton, Ohio.
But I'm not going to let Mark list numerous shows he's been on. We will put them in the links to this episode. But yes, he's been on. We haven't been on them together, although we are going to be doing some more little travel spots here in the not too distant future where you can see me and Mark very much like us being snowed to death on the Naked Boy Bridge. Okay.
Yeah, that one was pretty fun. So a lot of them on our socials, and a lot of them will be on. We do a couple other shows that we've been asked to be on a couple times. So we'll post links to those as they come up. So, but just keep an eye on our Facebook page and our social medias. That's where you can find it. And eerietravels.com. I'll try to put some of the links up to some of them. So
he'll put links up. Trust me, he likes talking about himself.
Yeah,
okay.
if you IMDb me, there's like 12 of me. And the problem with that is they're all me from different eras of my life, but I don't want to combine them all. So that's too much work.
Okay. Thanks, Mark. See, Ego. Can you move on to your next question?
All right. Hi, Mark and Erica.
Hello.
Hi. We met at the Georgia Bigfoot Fest.
Oh.
I thought you all were amazing and came and bought all your books after your talk. You told the story of Spearfinger, and I had nightmares for days thinking about it. Is it a local skinwalker? Traveler forever. Stacy.
Oh, Stacy, it was wonderful meeting you.
Yes, that was a lot of fun, that event.
That was when Mark updated the Spearfinger story, which we'll eventually do another update, but didn't tell me before we started talking and totally threw me off. So that's fine.
I had forgotten. I hadn't told Erika the updates.
Hashtag unscripted. We are always unscripted, but Spearfinger is not a skinwalker. She is something else, right?
It's a different entity, different type of thing. And skinwalker is very Navajo, West Coast, different tribe. That's become a catch-all term all over the place. And the Navajo are definitely not happy about it. And a lot of people aren't happy about it. So there are other things. There are things that shape change. There are things that do that in Native American belief system. And so, be careful with your terms. But other than that, Stacy, we got more stuff about Spearfinger coming up.
Yes, because that's not terrifying.
Sorry, I gave you nightmares.
There, Stacy.
I kind of like giving people nightmares sometimes because that's what this is all about.
Oh my God, yes, he does. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Stacy. Do you think the eclipse will affect anything paranormal in any way, Bob? Well, Bob, today was the eclipse when we're recording this episode, actually. It does air later this month because we do it for patrons first. Did you see, Beau? I didn't say Patreons first.
Yeah. We're getting better. We're getting better.
My answer is probably, because we don't know how these things affect anything. But my guess is kind of very similarly to when the time changes and things like that. I think there are things that are out there that are affected by the movement of these kind of things.
I had a lot of questions in one of the chat groups I'm in. A lot of the witch chat groups were wondering if, because they make moon water, because tonight's new moon, and then the eclipse, would that affect their moon water, which they have to leave out for the whole moon? Yes, I think it will. I think the way the energies are right now, things are going to be a little weird. But majorly, I don't know. I don't think anything odd is going to happen. I know we launched a few rockets to study solar flares because of this and everything. So it's going to be a curious day. It's going to be a curious week. We'll see if anybody documented anything unusual. So we'll get back to you on that one. That's the best I can say. Sorry, Bob. Oh, this one's to you, but it's my turn.
I know, but it's to me, Mark.
So you're going to have to read this one.
I'm going to read this one. Okay. Yep. Here we go. Hi, Erika. Hello. I have a question just for you. Well, I already don't like that. So moving on. Just kidding. I might love it. We'll see. Now that the Bigfoot guy convinced you to go camping, who would it take to convince you to go to a haunted house? Mark can pick the place. Cindy. Oh, Cindy. If Mark is picking the place, I am absolutely not going to there. Let me just clarify that in advance.
Oh,
so that's RGB. I actually wouldn't mind going. I think I said on that episode that I would go to a haunted place with him as well, as long as he picked it and didn't tell me anything about it in advance and let me just have my own perceptions when I got there. Because I think that's one of the things for me is that, and we talked about it a little bit on that episode, I think when you put enough negative thoughts, and not like you're being negative, but feed into something being bad or scary or something, it amplifies it, right?
Yep.
And you have enough people, like I think we were talking specifically about the, what's it called, house, the Amityville house, right? Wasn't that what we were talking about? The Amityville
The Conjuring house.
The Conjuring house. The Conjuring. I knew my brain wasn't working. So, Cindy, for the record, me and Mark are traveling to places. There are haunted places. I will be going inside. I probably will be regretting it. But if you want to suggest a place for me to go, I am down with it. And Beau saying Trans-Allegheny, not going to happen. I already know about that place.
Yeah. Oh man, I was going to say Trans-Allegheny is on our road trip to Mothman. So
that's true, but I'm not excited about it. So Cindy,
okay, Moundsville
send me a
Prison,
suggestion. Then. I will go.
All right, let's see. All right, so now it's my turn. I was in South Florida and went to a local store that talked about a giant turtle in their harbor. They had Mark's book about it. Hey, I know that book. The lady said she'd grown up hearing about it, but never discussed it because people thought she was crazy. So she was happy to see it in your book. I told her about your show. I couldn't find if you had talked about it on an episode. Where can we find more on it? Gina, another Gina.
Oh, hi, Gina.
Well, Gina.
We did talk about it. We did talk about it in one episode. It was the same one we did, the Gray Man, where we were talking about storms. And
storm spirits. Yeah. So we'll have to find out which episode it is. We'll put the links in the show notes on this. But there was an episode on that. I don't remember which one it was. We've done over 100 episodes. They're kind of blurring together a little bit, guys. Sorry. And my old memory banks aren't the best as we know. But Gina, thanks for that. And I'm glad to see that local store has it. Let me know which one it was. And next time we're down there, we'll swing by and sneaky sign them.
Yeah.
Get Carrie to draw little giant turtles in them. So
I like it. Okay. Greetings, travelers.
Greetings.
I'm from Portugal and English is not my native language. So sorry if this isn't perfect.
Hello, Portugal.
100% okay.
Yeah.
We have a story about a local sea snake that's been seen for hundreds of years. We even eat a lamprey at Christmas to celebrate it. Are you familiar with it? I want to visit the U.S. and go on a travel with you very much. Rosa. Oh, Rosa, that's awesome. What is a lamprey? It's a
sea snake type thing.
You don't.
It's an eel.
It's an eel. Yeah. Thank you. I need Carrie here. She's my zoologist. We have Beau,
look at that mouth. Why would you eat that?
I'm gonna have to look that up because I am not familiar with that. So
it's the one with the big teeth in the front.
No, I mean the giant sea snake in Portugal.
You should put that on the list, though. We should look that up.
I recall like something from the 1800s about it. Now that I'm thinking about it, like somewhere in the Cape of Good Hope, there was a giant sea snake reported by Captain Cook or somebody sailing. I'm gonna have to look more into that. Yeah, no, thank you. Put that on the clackety clack there, and we'll look into sea.
I looked it up. I am not. Rosa, I love you. I'm not eating lamprey. I cannot bring myself to do that. They clamp onto other fish and gosh, I've just given myself nightmares. What is that? Okay, moving on.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to look up their Christmas dish on that, what it is though. So I've tried everything, so that'll be good. So all right.
Show off.
Okay. I went to the Mothman Museum because of you. Yay! Tell Jeff and the crew we said hi. My family had so much fun. The town of Point Pleasant was great. We loved the domes and the TNT area. Thanks for suggesting it, or we would have missed it. We heard about a haunted asylum, but couldn't find it. Where is it in relation to Point Pleasant? Gordon.
Hello,
Okay,
Gordon.
I'm probably thinking of Trans-Allegheny, which is across the state from Point Pleasant. It's only a couple hours from there, but it is worth your trip. Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum is amazing.
I would look that up though, because they have like tours and certain things like schedules. Don't just randomly show up because it is privately owned, is it not?
Yeah, but they are restoring it. It is open most days. So just always
look it up before
make sure you want to get there on a good day for a tour, and you want to order ahead to make sure you're scheduled with one. We've only got a few more left, gang. So let's keep on moving. But thanks, Gordon. Glad you enjoyed Point Pleasant. I hope you got to try the new mini golf that just opened. I'm excited for that. When we go up, I am So excited to try the Mothman mini golf.
And I'm going to beat him at that. So let's continue.
All
Okay.
right.
I'm
All
pretty
right.
good at mini golf. Okay. I love you all! Exclamation mark.
Aw.
Oh, we love you too.
Right back at you.
I feel like I can finally talk about some crazy things that have happened to me without being looked at as if I'm from Jupiter. I love that. I will send some stories soon. I do have one question. Okay. My religious family does not approve of me talking about any of this. I just moved out at 19, so thankfully I'm away from most of that negativity. In my new town, though, I still feel like I have to hide things a bit. Where can I meet other travelers? Is there a Discord? There is a Discord, and you can meet other travelers there.
Yeah.
Or a meeting place. I get the feeling I'm not too far from you in Eastern Tennessee. You are not. I'm not sure I'd want to join a coven or hunt Bigfoot, but I'm wanting to branch out and expand my circle. I'm catching up on episodes since finding you all about a month ago, Tina. Tina, welcome to the traveling family.
Yeah.
We are happy to have you here. We do have Discord. I would absolutely recommend that. You don't have to join. Don't have to join a coven, but I would say this. I would recommend, you can always look into Facebook groups. You can go to metaphysical shops around you. I think RPG is supposed to be having us go to a Bigfoot.
He's got that one event. I think the first event's already sold out.
It is, but I think they're going to arrange one where the travelers will be there.
And she's trying to turn that into like a spiritual commune type thing. So that would be good.
When we go to do that, we will let all of our travelers know, so you guys can come join us, meet us. And as we're at events, please feel free. We're coming to Smoky Mountain Bigfoot Festival in
Gatlinburg. So
Gatlinburg,
and then what's the Smoky Mountain Terrors, and is that in Knoxville? I think that's in Gatlinburg too. I don't know. It's not too far.
Some weird little town near there.
Yeah, it's not far. So it's in Eastern Tennessee.
So please come out and see us. Yes, you
nice
are one of us.
One of us. One of us. One of us. Yes.
Okay. Now,
but Tina, no, you've found your tribe. Yes, we're there. The Discord is, our Patreon members are members. We should probably make the Discord just public. Everybody can.
It is public.
It is public. So just look up Eerie Travels Discord.
It's in our show notes.
It's in our show notes. There we go. Yep. See, here we go. Beau, thank you for that. And Beau, I think you should read the next question.
Isn't it not to me? Isn't it to?
It's to Erika, but I think you're mentioned in it, so I think you should read it.
Since Beau writes werewolf romance and Val writes Rougarou romance, what monster would you write or hook up with, Erika? Please don't say Twilight vampires.
Well, D.
From D.
So D, ironically, first of all, I would not hook up with Twilight vampires because even though they are the strongest, they're a bunch of whiny babies. I mean, truly, they're terribly whiny babies.
And you can't cuddle with them because they're like stone, right?
And
like
they're
old.
They're all into prepubescent kids. No, thank you.
So I do not write monster smut, but let me think. If I was to hook up with a monster, ooh, this is going to get me in trouble. If I was to hook up with a monster, I would want to hook up with a chupacabra. Mainly because I like saying the word chupacabra.
Like an anthropomorphic one, or just like the dog shape?
Now, which chupacabra?
I feel like a lot of judgment is happening.
The one that looks like a dog with mange, or the one that's like a lizard man? Which one?
Okay, I'm changing my answer. This just got gross. So I think, first of all, they'd have to be a shifter. So,
okay.
You know, if we're talking about
that's an easy out, Erika. You have to be into it both ways.
Okay, so one thing I am going to say though is if I'm going to pick a vampire to hook up with, that would be Eric Northman from True Blood.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I
go with Pam. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm good with that completely. But if I
double date.
And if I was to pick though, I think honestly what could be fun is also like the New Jersey Devil if it shifted. I mean, I think any that can shift into things could be an exciting time if, but Val has written Sasquatch, Chupacabra, New Jersey Devil. She also wrote a whole ghost series. You can see what it's like to have sex with Bloody Mary if you want. Anyway,
Beau's are not really werewolf romance. Beau's ears are
No.
pretty
No,
horror.
they're horror.
spooky.
There's some steamy stuff in them, but they're kind of gory.
I like them. So, but all right, I'm not even going to say about me. So we all know. We all know Mark has his own things. So
Yeah, Mark, that's not for public.
All of it.
It would just be what wouldn't I hook up with would be the question.
He's like, this is for science.
Watch you during these things.
There was that. What was the Community? There was the Dean character. He's always at one point he wanted to be on the cover of Gay Dean magazine, and he's like, well, you can't narrow my sexuality down to just that 1/100th of my sexuality. So that would be, yeah.
I love that. Okay.
So Mark
right.
will try the chupacabra.
Yeah,
is what we learned.
What do you mean? Will try.
Has tried.
Moving on. All
right. Greetings, travelers.
Greetings.
Where was Hellview Cemetery that Mark talks about? I can't find it on a map. We asked around in Tampa Bay and we can only find old YouTube videos. On Google Maps, it looks like a house. Carl.
Hello, Carl.
Carl, when I got this one, I emailed you immediately, so you already know my answer to this. But
this is funny because I had the exact same question at one point. I was like, what the hell is this? And I kept looking it up and couldn't find anything. And I was like, is Mark
not
on a secret cemetery?
It was not a real cemetery, except it was. When we were researching cemeteries of Tampa Bay, the lost cemeteries of Tampa Bay, there was one called Hillview. And when we were doing our haunted house, we turned it into Hellview Cemetery. It's still lost. We don't know where it is, but I think it was actually in Sarasota, not St. Pete, because there is a Hillview Road and a Shady Rest Road, and there's a park there. And I think it was called the Hillview Shady Rest Cemetery. So it's probably where it was. And now it's under a park. But a lot of cemeteries got lost down in Tampa Bay because these storms come in and people move away. And then we build houses on top of it.
Your question, though, is it's not real.
It's not real. It was a haunted house that we ran in St. Pete. And if you do look it up on Google Maps, it's a house that is now being remodeled and new people will be moving in there. And that's where our old fearmonger was. So we'll see if they like the new owners. And we have one last question.
Yes. Okay. One last question for today's listener questions. What scares you the most, John?
Ooh.
Wow.
Taxes. Florida
Dementia.
drivers.
Dementia scares me the most.
Dementia, yeah.
I know that's not a very fun answer. I mean, but
that's part of all this is I had a friend who used to tell me, you're into some of the scariest, craziest stuff. How do you sleep at night? And I'm like, I am 10 times more scared of a guy crawling in our window trying to hurt one of my family members or me than I am of bumping into a Sasquatch, in full anger management. I'm sure it will terrify me to my core at the time, but saying that now as an everyday fear, no, I'm not worried about anything. I would say Robert scares me because I know he's affected my life in some ways. And shoot, even Ozzy Osbourne says that the doll ruined some of his life. So, while we love Robert, but we are terrified of him. So
humans are a lot scarier than most of these supernatural things we're talking about because humans seem to be the only creatures that are willingly and intentionally to do harm to each other. Like animals in the animal kingdom and some of this stuff. I mean, ghosts and things like that can be scary, but in general, they're scary and they're not painful. I mean, that's, you know what I mean? So that's my thought.
Like I said, that's truly what scares me is other people. We learned from Scooby-Doo, the really scary things are the other people, right? And it's always the guys in the mask.
But that and Mark saying we should just go inside here. Or you know what? Another famous Mark line is, I think I'm going to get this doll. Like things that should never be said.
And sometimes it's, hey, let's stop at this gas station and use the restroom. Which is why we love Buc-ee's. They have clean restrooms. It can be terrifying, out there. And some of these things are pretty scary, John. But for the most part, honestly, these things are just, it's intention. If you're expecting to be scared, you will be. I'll tell you, if you want to be scared, Netherworld, great haunted house, and it will scare you.
I got asked to go to Netherworld by the person that runs it. I think that was a bad choice on their part. We'll see.
We'll see. I think they're pretty good about. They know how to run a good haunted house.
What about you, Beau? What are you afraid of?
Cars.
Yeah.
I hate driving. I don't drive. I'm scared of cars.
Well, there you go. I'm terrified something happened to my kids. Even Stephen King admits that was his worst fear. Why he wrote
now
that
you made me look bad, Mark. Now I have to say something happening to my children. I went for cars.
Cars is where the 90% of the likelihood of that is. So
that's true. It's true.
Yeah. No, absolutely. But if we were to pick a paranormal thing that scares us outside of Robert, let's just end this episode a preternatural thing that scares the crap out of us. What is your vote? Mine is the hide behinds. Like if I had to pick something that's very scary, those kind of creatures where they lure you into a trap. What about you, Beau? What would be your preternatural scary point?
I feel like shadow men and hat men and all like those kind of things, because that seems like very accessible in your house, and sometimes your eyes play tricks on you, or maybe it's a shadow man. I don't know. It just freaks me out a little bit.
With you, Mark?
I'm trying to think, and that's the problem. Is again, I think it goes back to the dating question. Yeah.
But the question is more like if you could pick something that is scary to you, that has caused fear to you, what was that?
I think pretty much the only thing that would really terrify me is something that could pick me up and drop me from a height, because I'm afraid of heights. It's the only thing I still have a fear of.
Are you afraid of heights or afraid of the landing?
I'm afraid of something grabbing me and taking me to a height and dropping me. So that's It's the landing at the bottom, but it's the falling isn't good either. So
agreed.
Yeah. So I can't really. Maybe a snallygaster because of that, but they're cool looking. So I don't know. I don't really have a fear of monsters. So that's my problem. So
that's on the list of problems you have, Mark.
I'd be more afraid of I'd be more afraid of the harbinger telling me don't go up to that hill because that's when you ain't coming back. That's the guy I'm more afraid of.
Yeah. So, plus, that seems like a boring job to have. Like you're just a warning sign. I'm like a walking warning sign.
And I feel like Mark would take that as like a challenge. He'd be like, "I'm going up there. I want to see what's
I'm gonna
up
be like,
there."
all right, there's my next book. I'm on it.
Yeah, Mark's like, "You're not the boss of me, harbinger of death." But Mark, we're super over on this episode.
Yes, so we went a little late. We hadn't done questions in a while, and we got a ton of them. And you guys keep sending them in, please. Thank you. We love these. These are amazing, and it gets us ideas for future episodes and ideas for things you want to hear from us. We'd love to hear what you want to hear, what you like, what you didn't. Please drop us a line at eerietravels.com or on the Discord or on our Facebook. That's where we get a lot of these are from all over the place. We get them every which way. So, or you can just drop us an email at mark@eerietravels.com. It comes straight to me.
Or info at Eerie Travels.
Or info at Eerie Travels, and they go to Beau, and Beau will get them out. Yeah, Beau will get them right off the bat instead of me. So that's fun. With that, gang, thank you so much as always. Thanks, patrons, for watching live. And for those of you who are watching this later on YouTube or listening to us on the podcast, you got it when you did, but you could be part of that if you join our Patreon for super cheap. It's as easy as we can make it. So, and then join us on the Discord if you want to chat with us, even, when you can. So we appreciate it. And as always, listeners, thank you so much. We've been through this over a year now. It's amazing to us. It's how many episodes? 100 and almost 130. This is crazy that we still have.
I think we just posted 123, I think.
Okay. So the fact that we are up this many episodes and that y'all still love us and keep listening to us, it just fills our hearts with joy. And that we're getting so many emails and questions and messages. That's incredible to us. We never thought this would be this, right, Erika?
It's true. And we really appreciate you as a community. We really do feel like we're a gigantic traveler family. So we're glad that so many of you have found a place where you feel like you can be yourselves and it's safe for you, because we absolutely always want to create that type of environment.
Yep, always. So with that, gang, go get yourself a couple matchsticks, drop it into a bowl, and see if they float away, so you know you're not cursed. And if you are, find yourself some cinnamon, get some iron spikes for your property, or maybe just flush the toilet and see which direction it goes. And we will see you on the other side.